Live, okay. Annie, bonsoir and good evening everyone. C'est vraiment le fun de voir beaucoup de gens ici ce soir. D'habitude, on n'a pas grand monde qui vient nous visiter pendant nos réunions. Alors, on apprécie que vous avez pris le temps pour venir voir qu'est-ce qui se passe dans votre municipalité. Thank you everyone for coming out tonight. It's lovely to see people here in great numbers. And for you to witness firsthand how we do business for your municipality. I'd like to begin this meeting by acknowledging that we are on the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe peoples in the Robinson-Huron Treaty area and wish to recognize the neighboring community of Dokis First Nation. While we meet today, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the importance of the lands which we each call home. We do this to reaffirm our commitment and responsibility in improving relationships between nations and to improving our own understanding of the local Indigenous peoples and their cultures. From coast to coast, we acknowledge the ancestral and unceded territory of all the Inuit, Métis, and First Nations people that call this land home. So with that, I would like to call this meeting to order. And I need a resolution to adopt the agenda. Roger and Willie.
Duly moved and seconded, be resolved that the agenda be adopted as presented.
All those in favor? Thank you. Any disclosures of pecuniary interest? Seeing none. There are no delegations tonight. So we'll move on to 6, general government. There are no reports, nor are there any reports for finances and public works and environmental. So we'll move on to recreation and community services. And we have our 2023 accessibility compliance report from the Ministry of Seniors and Accessibility. And Jason, you're going to speak to it.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Back in May in 2023, the municipality was notified to be and has been selected under the Accessibilities of Ontario and Disabilities Act 2005 AODA with accessibilities and borders or barriers, I should say, sorry. And we have made some changes to the policies and procedures and some updating according to our accessibility audit and legislation. Is there any other questions?
Okay, so all the changes are in your report. Does anybody have any? Most of these changes, Jason, are to be compliant with government legislation.
That is correct.
Okay. So, Councillor Bob.
Just one question through you, Madam Chair. Are most of all these changes, have they been implemented?
Not all of them have been implemented yet.
But it's in the process?
Is it in the process? Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Renee?
Is there still lots of areas where accessibility should be improved, or did they note pretty much everything that we have? Like, I know what's down on paper, but Mark or Jason?
So maybe for council's information, this audit was not a physical audit of what we've done. It's basically an audit of our policies and procedures that council adopts on a yearly basis. As Jason mentioned, and with Michelle's assistance, they worked with the auditor to bring our policies and procedures back up to standards to meet the current legislation to ensure that we are compliant with legislation. Okay. We continually work towards bringing all of our facilities up to accessibility, and depending on council budget allotment on a yearly basis, we designate certain areas to work on.
And if you look at your report, the areas that need to be worked on, you'll see it says to be included in future budgets and approximately how much it will cost to bring that item up to accessible standards. But there's nothing in the law that says we have to do this tomorrow or the next day. I think we have some time to do.
I had seen these things. I was just wondering like how we were as
Mhm.
far as, I know we've done a lot of work over the years. And I know there's not like tons of stuff out there, but I was just curious to see how many more things down the road besides what was on here.
Oh, okay, so you're, things that are not listed there.
Yeah, things
Oh,
that
okay.
are not listed, but I think that, I know
Yeah.
we've done like the arena is pretty much there. The Alvin Community Center will be there shortly. Libraries are accessible. This building is. I know there's a few doors and stuff, but
Mhm.
just wondering like other things, but seems to pretty much cover mostly everything.
If I may, Madam Chair, just for council's information, when we talk about accessibility, it's not just buildings. It's services, it's how we provide requests for accommodation for the blind, for the deaf, or and having those types of policies in place as well. So accessibility is wide ranging, depending on your disabilities or challenges and how we deal with those requests. So it's not just physical buildings.
Other questions? Seeing none, we need a resolution to approve the amendments to the policies to comply with the act. So I need a mover and a seconder, Dave and Dean.
It is duly moved and seconded. Be it resolved that council approves the following policies as amended to comply with the Accessibility for Ontarians with Disabilities Act. So the 2023 Accessibility Plan, the Accessibility for Ontarians with Disabilities Act Standards Policy, Accessibility for Ontarians with Disabilities Act Workplace Accommodation Policy.
Thank you. All those in favor? Thank you. There is no emergency protection services report, so we'll move to the building planning and development. So we have the chair's report for economic development and the advisory committee, and you are the chair, Willie. So would you like to take us through it?
I'd be happy to. Thank you. So just highlights of the meeting, the committee had the opportunity to review the terms of reference for clarification on direction. No questions or concern were raised regarding the committee's terms of reference. Staff reported on e-charging station funding application due January of 2024. Next step involved determining suitability, location, and obtaining cost estimates. The committee will discuss and make recommendations to council once this information is available. Community visioning planning, the contract for hiring a consultant will be presented at the next council meeting. Committee members were invited to attend focus group session that were encouraged to complete the survey during the process. Communication to advertise the visioning plan to the committee, community and tourists were discussed, website, mail out, social media platforms, and e-blasts. Update to senior housing project. The CAO updated the group on the senior housing project. Successful group presented to council, and committee members were encouraged to attend or listen to the presentation. Also updates for OPP Noelville detachment closure. Staff provided an update on negotiations to prevent the closure of the OPP detachment. Updates will be posted on the municipal website as information becomes available. Municipal communication policy. Staff outlined the purpose of the municipal communication policy to the committee so that members have a better understanding of how the municipality communicates to their constituents. Then at the end of the meeting, we had a round table discussion. Some of these items come up to move forward with and maybe develop some of these mechanisms. Discuss on local agricultural product services and network opportunities. So bring local businesses in contact with local consumers and put a network in place of communication. There was support for promoting local agriculture and networking within the municipality. Once information is received from the municipality, we'll assist in advertising in our community calendar. So we do have a community calendar that is posted on the website, and we encourage people that if they do have events to populate that calendar, so the remainder or the community at large can access and be aware of those community events that are taking place. Tourism trade shows, attendees sponsored by local tourism operators was considered an opportunity for advocacy. There was a concern, or it was brought to the attention that maybe tourism being a very vital link to this community might not be a bad idea to maybe more advertise it and make others aware, not only in this area, but other areas, to extend our reach and let people know the beautiful area in which we live and what we have to offer. Building partnerships between the municipalities to advocate for local business was suggested. Support for small business development and addressing obstacles to grow were discussed. We're just identifying the red tape, if you will, and trying to smooth that over and make it easier to do business. The committee proposed lobbying the provincial and federal governments to alleviate these barriers. That's the conclusion. That's pretty much in the totality what was discussed through the meeting.
Thank you, Councillor Willie. Any questions or comments for Councillor Willie? When's your next meeting?
It's going to be proposed October, I believe it's October 10th.
October 10th. Oh, after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. All righty, let's move on to the next item. 6.6.2. So an update on the consultation period for the short-term rental licensing bylaw. And Mel, you're going to address that for us?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. I will report on behalf of Andrea, the chief building official. She had prior commitments, so I will report for her. So this is just to provide an update to council on the consultation process since our last report to council. So at the meeting held on July 5th, a report and short-term rental draft licensing bylaw was presented to council for review and consideration. Following discussion, council directed staff to proceed with an application to the Sudbury's Planning Board to amend the zoning bylaw to allow or include short-term rentals and to launch a public consultation period to receive feedback on the draft short-term rental bylaw. Since that meeting, the following has occurred. So the planning application was submitted to the planning board. The hearing to consider the amendment to the zoning bylaw is going to be held on November 1st. So that meeting, council will be asked to consider the amendment to the zoning bylaw to include short-term rentals and to allow for the municipality to license them through the bylaw. A public consultation was launched on July 13th, which included a post on Facebook, on our social media, and the newsletter that was sent to every taxpayer in our municipality. So through the consultation, we've received 21 comments, so 21 written comments. We did account for the ones that were by phone also. We received a lot of great feedback. It was very constructive and a lot of things to consider. And we have, since this report, we have received a few more and we are still receiving comments. Until we bring the final draft to council, we will still consider any feedback from the public. Legal advice was also sought on certain matters that were brought forward through the consultation and on the wording of the bylaw itself. So we have received that legal advice probably just a few days before writing this report. The detailed research was undertaken to determine a more precise number of short-term rentals operating. So as of the date of this report, we have found 48 short-term rentals that were operating. What else did I want to add? So staff will analyze the consultation, the feedback that we've received, the legal advice that we received, and we have done further research So as we were getting feedback or comments, we were doing further research on other bylaws from other municipalities. We have talked to other bylaw departments or other chief building officials that have implemented their short-term rental bylaws. We received a lot of great feedback. So we had meant to report back to council on October 4th with our comprehensive report. But I think we will need to push that to the 18th. It will give us more time to prepare a draft and to determine all those things. And also to complete the actual application so council can actually see what it looks like and work on the renter's code of conduct and the licensee code of conduct and acknowledgement and improve our demerit points that we had presented to council at the last meeting. So this is just for information. So we will report back to council on the 18th.
When you come to council on the 18th, are you bringing the bylaw back or just reporting the changes to the bylaw or?
We through you, Madam Chair. So we will bring, so council have been, all the comments that we've received so far and that we will continue receiving have been sent to council.
Right.
So you can review them as they go. So at that report, we will be reporting on all those comments. We will
Okay.
be bringing the draft bylaw as
Okay.
it was reviewed by the legal advice.
Yeah.
And any suggested further amendments based on,
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
based on the consultation.
Okay, so all that will be included.
Yes. So it would be like our second draft.
Right, right.
So then on the 18th, so that report is going to be presented on November 1st. We're looking at having the zoning bylaw amendment adopted. And then after that meeting, then we will be able to probably present council with a final short-term rental
Okay.
licensing bylaw.
Okay, got it. Any questions for Mel with regards to short-term rentals? None, seeing none.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to item 7. No correspondence that came in, no? All right. I need a resolution to adopt the items contained in the consent agenda. Mover, Bob and Roger.
Duly moved and seconded to be resolved that council approves the items of the consent agenda under 8.1.
Thank you. All those in favor? Thank you. Are there any notices of motion? None? Okay, so now we go to announcement and inquiries. So just to let the people know here, the way that this is done, we start with the council and the staff first for announcements and comments. And then I will open it up to the public. But the way that it works is it has to be on an item that's in the agenda. Okay, so if you have any comments, you're more than welcome to make them, but they have to be tied to the agenda. Okay, so let's start. We'll start with council. You have nothing, Councillor Bob?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm really trying to find something because you're not used to me being quiet,
No.
but I have nothing.
Really? Wow. I'm surprised. Wow. Councillor Willie.
It's not often I have something to say, but I'll bring something up. It's coming on a year of me being elected and sitting in this seat, and I just want to share my astonishment on, liaisoning with the constituents, bringing ideas to staff and finding out how well staff and how capable they are in bringing those ideas and bringing a resolution to that. I've been involved with a few things through the community and watching those things grow, flourish, and come to conclusions. It's really opened my eyes. It's a well-oiled machine that we have here, and I just thought I'd mention that.
Thank you. Councillor Dean.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I really don't have anything either.
Councillor Dave.
I just have a quick question about the agenda. I think we were expecting a waste collection report on this meeting. Just wondering
Yes,
why it's not on
I
the
can
agenda.
answer that one because I thought that the consultation for the short term, I thought that was coming here. And to have two heavy duty items, I thought would be onerous because we need to spend a lot of time on the waste management one. And my understanding that it's a comprehensive report. They're still tweaking some of it. And I've also asked that, as you know, when we get our agenda, it comes in on Fridays sometime. And then we meet on the Wednesday, and I've asked for councillors to have the agenda for the report for at least 7 to 10 days prior to the meeting so that you can all prepare yourselves to have a good discussion, because I think that's going to be one of the most difficult issues that this council and the previous council has had to deal with. So to do it properly, I felt that we needed the time to do it and for the staff to finish putting their stuff together.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Bob.
A question to staff or can we expect this report for our next meeting?
Mark,
Madam Mayor, Councillor Bob, that is the plan, is to have it for the October 4th meeting. And in agreement with the mayor to, as soon as we're done with the final little tweaking, we will be providing that copy ahead of time to council prior to releasing it to the general public on the Friday before the meeting.
Thank you.
does that answer your question?
Just a few things. The Sudbury East Chamber is hosting the annual business gala this year in Killarney on November 4th. Right now, they are accepting votes for local businesses. There's 6 different categories. So anybody who wants to take the time to go nominate a business and a non-for-profit in the area, there's different categories. Like I said, new employer of the year. There's I'm trying to think. There's a lifelong one. There's best customer service. There's different topics. Anyways, you just go to the Sudbury East Chamber website. On there, there's the different categories. You can name the businesses you want and submit your votes that way towards that. So that'll help. And that is open from Marks Day Warren all the way up to Killarney. So any business that you've dealt with, had good service or something and would like them to be recognized, please go out there and fill out the form. It's a quick process. It'll just ask you the name of the business and why you think they would qualify for that category, and just submit it so that we can, have a little competition out there between the different good businesses we have in our area. We're very blessed with the ones that are still here. So I believe there's only a few more weeks for the voting process, because then they got to get the trophies made. So if we could all take the time to go do that, it would be greatly appreciated. That's about it. Glad to see the kids back at school. The arena's back busy with the hockey. We had our first local season games, I guess, that happened. I know a lot of the activities for the seniors have started up. I saw the curling flyer out there. There's a few different things for the kids going on, so it's nice to see. And that's about it.
Thank you. And you're completely right. Things are really happening. Just to let people know, the food bank will be open tomorrow between 9 and 12 noon for those who need assistance. The Alban seniors will be having their presentation for the affordable housing project, not this Friday, the following Friday. So the consultant will go there. Last week, he made his presentation to the Noelville seniors, and that went over very, very well. There's a lot of support, and for seniors, affordable seniors housing. And so I was quite pleased to see that. Again, surveys, they were asked to fill out the surveys. I think we walked out of there with about 50 surveys. So it was really good because the project is about seniors and they have to tell us what they want in their complex. So that was very good. And I look forward to seeing a report from them, which will likely occur sometime in October. As well, I'm sure everybody's heard about Domtar in Espanola, the closure of Domtar, where well over 450 jobs will be lost. And that doesn't include the secondary jobs that come from having a major industry. The minister contacted me to see what kind of impact it would have in our municipality, because we do have lumber mills here. And we know that they ship their chips to Espanola. So through our economic development officer who coordinated the project, we've talked to the two major lumber companies, and indeed there will be a serious effect. And we're looking at possible solution. I don't think we can, they had some great suggestions about how to help them survive, because they're going to lose, one lumber company is going to lose $500,000 a year just in chips, not being able to transport the chips. What are they going to do with the chips, et cetera? And there's a huge domino effect that will be in our community. There may be loss of jobs here. So once we've gathered all the information, then I'll contact the minister, make an appointment, and whether he wants to meet with us in person or by Zoom, probably better in person, because hard to look at somebody in the eyes on Zoom and to make your plea. So once that's established, then I will let everybody know. But as a community, I think we need to do our best to try to mitigate some of the negative impact that it's going to have in our community. So stay tuned on that one. Also, to let you know that Infrastructure Ontario and OPP have contacted us. So we're going to have a meeting the week of October 1st to meet. They're going to do a presentation to us. It's been a while, took a long time for them to gather their information. I think that's going to be one of the more important meetings because that's going to establish, in my opinion, whether we can keep them or not. So far, it looks good, but until it's signed by the Solicitor General that they're not leaving our community and what it's going to take to keep them here, then I tell people, looks good, but until it's in writing and sealed, we'll keep our hopes up, and we'll see what happens in a couple weeks, and then I'll report back because I think we'll have a council meeting the same day, I think, because I think we got the notice the 4th. Yeah, so I'll be able to report more on it at our council meeting on the 4th. So stay tuned. And I think that's all I had in my list. Any comments from staff? No. Now it's your turn. So if you have any comments, si vous avez des commentaires ou vous voulez parler de quelque chose qui s'est passé ce soir avec l'ordre du jour, je vous demande d'aller au podium. Et puis, il faut vous peser le petit bouton rouge parce que c'est live, puis le monde, il faut qu'il vous attende. Alors, si vous voulez vous rendre là. So if you want to make comments on what the items that are listed on the agenda, please feel free to go to the podium, press the little button so the little red light comes on. That ensures that the people that are watching can hear you. And please state your name and where you live, please. See the little button? Oh, maybe it's, isn't technology fun?
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, you have a
go.
hard time hearing me anyways. I was interested at the part where correspondence is kind of blew through. I'm sorry, Richard Scranage, we're from the Dominion Peony. We're part of correspondence. Does email include your correspondence?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear
Well,
you.
in correspondence,
Yes,
if a counselor receives an email,
yes.
is that not part of correspondence?
No,
Or
the
does it have to be in
correspondence that's,
writing? Does it have to be in writing?
the correspondence that's listed here is stuff that goes to the municipality.
I see, okay.
So if it's sent to the municipality, for instance, sometimes ministers will send letters or
Oh,
schools
I see.
will
Okay,
send letters to ask for a donation of this and that.
okay,
But the correspondence that each counselor receives is not listed in here.
okay, that's fine.
Is that
So
okay?
if, for us, for instance, how would we correspond to you,
To me,
to the council?
to council, so there's a couple ways. You can send an email to me or to the council, any of the counselors. Their email addresses are all listed on the website.
Okay,
And you can send a copy also to our clerk, Melanie,
What-
and or to our
I'm sorry,
CEO.
Madam Mayor,
So,
but if we do send an email, we don't get a response. How are we to address that?
well, then you can follow it up with either the person that you were addressing, and if there's still no response, then you can contact me or the
Okay.
clerk or whatever.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Oh, that was easy. Anything else? Oh, you're a quiet group. I'm glad you're here. Oh, you're thinking, oh. That's okay. That's okay. I love it. That's good. All right, seeing there is none, we are going into a closed session tonight as to discuss labor relations and employee negotiations. So we need a motion to resume into closed session. Yeah. Renee and Dean. All those in favor?
Got 10 minutes.
Oh, sorry, you got to read it. Sorry, I always miss that part. Sorry.
It's duly moved and seconded. Be it resolved that the meeting be closed as authorized in the municipal act pursuant to section 239(2)D, labor relations or employee negotiations with respect to union negotiations.
Great. All those in favor? Thank you. So we'll be coming back. Okay. We'll come back to close the meeting. So there's nothing else on except the adjournment. So, and again, thank you very much for coming. We really appreciate, hope to see you next meeting. Yeah. Hello, everyone, and thank you for waiting for us. Can't believe there's still people here. That's great. I need a resolution to reconvene into an open session. Moved by Roger, seconded by Renee. All those in favor? Thank you. Well, we're down to adjournment, so I need a resolution to adopt the confirmation bylaw. Dave and Dean. All those in favor? Thank you. And finally, resolution to adjourn. Renee and Willie. All those in favor? Merci. Oh,